Hi, and welcome to Rabbit and Moon Tarot. My name is Angel, and I'll be doing a collective read for today. So for those who have been here before, you'll know that I've been putting in chapter markers in the timeline and in the description box below, along with any references that I might make with songs or the decks that I use. And for those who are new, thank you so much for stopping by and taking a chance on a small channel. I've not been long here, and I don't have a whole lot in my library, but I'm happy to read, and I appreciate all your likes, shares, subscribes. And if you're new to tarot itself, I do have a little tarot intro. It's nothing super intense, just a little food for thought. So, tarot and oracle are tools for self-reflection. At least that's how I see it. It's meant to help guide you when you're making decisions using your own inner moral compass based on your own particular brand of happiness. I'm an intuitive reader, so I know the cards, but I rely on messages from my ancestors, guides, and the universe, if you will. And since there are only so many cards in a deck, sometimes or oftentimes it'll come out that a card will flip out of the deck that is the closest approximation to what the spirits or my guides are trying to say, and it's up to me to interpret the message for those that are viewing. But for you, it's up to you to decide whether or not it resonates. And when I say resonate, I've said that before in readings, and maybe I should explain further about what that is. Resonates means that when I say something about the reading, resonating wouldn't be you trying to make it fit. Like, well, does that actually happen? Or is that how I feel? Or is that how it... No. When I say it resonates, when I say this card comes out and I outline a situation, it is like a something clicks in you, that you automatically are thinking of a situation that you were in, that you're experiencing, or that you're worried about happening. That's when I say it resonates. It's because if you don't feel that, if you're trying to make it fit, then this isn't your reading. And, it's a collective. So it's tapping into lots of different energies and lots of different collectives. So there might be one collective I read for on Monday and one collective that I tap into on a Friday. So again, don't make it fit. If it doesn't fit, don't make it fit. If it resonates, that means when you hear what's in the message, you're like, oh my God, that happened to me. This is exactly how it happened. Or this is happening to me right now. Or I am so worried that this may happen. You know what I mean? Like something like that. So don't make it fit. But most importantly, you are the maestro of your own destiny. So you co-create your own story. You write your own story with the universe. And I'm someone who believes in fate and destiny. I do. But I believe it only takes you so far. It presents you and affords you the opportunity for success, for abundance, to walk a certain path. And if this life is not the version of life that you want to, you can choose different paths, different outcomes, to walk different timelines, because you are co-creating. So don't give up your power just to one single tarot reading. It's not set in stone. When I read the energy, it's how it exists right now, and it's liable to change based on decisions you make and the decisions of others. If you want to make a change and move your timeline, you definitely can, because you are the maestro of your own destiny. So, having said all of that, we're going to do a pre-shuffle. So what I'm going to do is shuffle these oracles and kind of get into where the collective that I'm currently tapping into right now, where they are energetically. And then we'll use these same oracles to pull cards to kind of set the theme for the actual reading. So let's see what we have. We're going to cut it, and then let's look at the bottom and the mid. So resolution and obligation. So for resolution, it says, whatever it is that you've been struggling with is about to be resolved. Remember that resolutions don't always happen in the ways we hope or want, but being able to move forward and start fresh always brings relief. And then obligation. Stop telling yourself you should when you cater to others or to unnecessary expectations of yourself. You stop your flow of abundance. So what this feels like for the collective that I'm tapping into today, that is, I'm kind of suss out their current energy coming into the reading. It feels like there is something in your life that may be holding you back. Through the obligation card, it feels like something that's holding you back, but that you no longer want to be involved in, you don't want to be linked to, that maybe you've outgrown a situation, maybe you feel like you've leveled up, but you stay because you feel like it's like, I don't want to say like it's an honor system, but it's like it says, an obligation. Like you kind of have to. And sometimes that happens, like for instance, with a friend group. You could have friends that you've known and been really close with for 10 or 12 years, but at some point we are human beings. We are not static. We are constantly growing. We're constantly changing, and sometimes those changes can bring us closer together, and sometimes they can take us down separate different paths. And there's nothing wrong with recognizing that perhaps your path may be deviating from that of your friend group. Yes, sometimes you feel obligated to stay because these are people that you've known for a really, really long time, that if you were to take a different path or to change your life in some way, that maybe there's something about what you're doing or how you're living your life now, or the decision that you're making for yourself, you may feel like your friends can't come with you, or they wouldn't want to come with you, or that they wouldn't understand. So you stay. And what I heard when I said that is, so you stay, and you stay small. You keep yourself from growing because you feel like, from obligation, from an honor standpoint, you should stay with this group of people, this job, this relationship, even this family unit, because it's expected. It's quote unquote the right thing to do. But is it the right thing to do when it stunts your own growth? And obviously it varies on situations, but just understand that's kind of what it feels like. And then for the resolution is making the decision about up leveling. I do feel strongly that there is some sort of like a sense of duty that you have to stay in a certain energy. I almost hear like sorry, I'm trying this thing where I don't edit my videos because it takes way too long. I'm not very good at it, and I would rather you all just see the process. So if I'm umming and ahhing, you just kind of got to rock with me with that. So the resolution, it almost feels like it's the right thing to do. It's like I'm duty bound to stay. It's kind of, okay, let me put it in the subject of now jobs. Instead of friends, let's go to jobs. It's like staying in a job because if you were to leave the job for a better job that pays you more money, that is more appreciative of your efforts and your skill, that can give you better benefits, but you stay in the job because you worry about what they're going to do without you. You're worried that there's no one to take your position, that it would leave a project or what's the word I'm looking for? I want to say position, but it's not just position. Well, it leaves your particular job title unfilled, and then other people will have to pick up the slack. The company will have to figure out what they're going to do. It's something like that. So you stay small. You keep yourself in an energy that you're not growing in. You know that you're not benefiting, and you're not thriving, and you're not moving towards your better self because you feel duty bound, even if you're unhappy. So again, take that as it resonates. And when I say resonates, if you're sitting there being like, this doesn't sound like me, then it's not resonating. It should pull on an immediate memory, or it should trigger something in you when you hear it. You should be like, oh yeah, nope, that's exactly what's happening with my work, with my job, in my relationship, with my family. This happened to me last year. This is happening right now. I'm worried that this could, that kind of thing. And also, let me just say, if you get the feeling where you're like, well, I've experienced that, the memory I'm being drawn back to when I'm resonating is from last year, but why am I hearing a message from last year? The thing is that tarot is timeless, and I go by the way science has outlined it, that basically time and space and all that kind of stuff is happening all at once. I'm not a science person, but I've read articles where they talk about how time itself is kind of all happening all at once. So now is yesterday and tomorrow, essentially. It's kind of big brain stuff, and I'm not qualified to explain it, but essentially time is happening at all at once. And if you're seeing a tarot reading from 5 years ago and you feel like it resonates, or if you hear in this reading something that pulls on something you went through last year or 6 months ago or a month ago, it's because there may be something in this reading that is pertinent, that spirit is asking you to pay attention. There may be something in the reading that's pertinent for you. A little nugget of wisdom. Okay, anyways, I don't know why I felt like I needed to say that, but there it is. Okay, so let's keep going. Okay, one more cut, and read from the middle and the bottom and see what else, what other energies are collective that I'm tapping in today is dealing with. Reflection and boundless possibilities. So with reflection, we have you're being asked to reflect on your recent choices. What lessons have they taught you? Reflection is the mirror to your soul's growth. Use it to deepen your understanding and intuition. Oh my God. Okay. So I feel like even though that the other set of cards was about obligation and like resolution, this makes me feel like this has to do with what decision that, and this is what I'm hearing, what decision that you have made in your mind. You've already made it up in your mind, but for some of you, you haven't yet acted on it. This is essentially like you standing at a crossroads and you're like, I'm going to go right because it's the right thing to do for me, but you haven't started moving towards that. And almost energetically, it's like universe is like, okay, that's where you want to go. You want to go right? Let's go right. And you're like, give me a minute. I just need to psych myself up. I'm going to go right. I know I'm going to go right. Like legitimately, no doubt in my mind, that is where I want to go. That finish line at the end of this road is my happiness, is my abundance, is the job that I want, is the person that I love, that is the family dynamic that I hope for when creating my own family. Right is where I want to go. And universe is like, yeah, let's do it. And you're like, well, just hold on. Why are you rushing me? I'm trying to get my, you know what I mean? You're trying to like psych yourself up for it. This reflection energy is that moment. Is you standing at that crossroads and being like, okay. I've made this decision internally within myself. I haven't yet taken action on it, but I know exactly where I want to put my energy, where I want to go, where I want to be, how I want to live my life. And by that decision, it's almost like before you start walking that path, you're thinking how much the decision that you've made will impact your life. How much will you grow? How much will you flourish? How much will you heal? So I love that. Let me look at the other one. Was it boundless possibilities? Yes, and I just said all that stuff. So boundless possibilities. You're standing on the edge of limited potential, or you are standing at a crossroads. Don't limit your dreams based on past experiences. Embrace the boundless possibilities that await you. Yes. Okay. So when I was saying I was hearing the universe kind of like encouraging you to be like, get it, go down that right path because that's where you wanted to go. You've already made the decision. We can tell. It's in your head, it's in your heart, it's in your soul. You've made this decision. You just haven't started walking that path yet. And you, the viewer or someone you're connected to, is like, okay, just can you back up? Like you're crowding me. I just need to think on this a little bit. I just need to prepare myself mentally for this new life, this new version. I'm a little bit nervous about it. I'm a little bit nervous about pursuing this path, but it's what I want. Again, at the end of this road, there's the job that I want, the life that I want, the love that I want, the relationship that I want, the family dynamic that I want to build, the opportunities I want to create for myself. Everything is down this road that I've already made the decision to walk. I'm just psyching myself up, ready to walk it. And the reflection at the crossroads is also the boundless possibilities, what I was just saying before about thinking, how much can this heal me? How much can I grow? How much will this add to me? But also, I was talking about how sometimes you have to make a decision and you feel a little hesitant to move forward because you're leaving something behind that that maybe friends or coworkers or whatever, they can't come with you because they're not walking that path. And that also means, and I do feel like I need to say this, it also means relationships that are no longer promoting your growth, no longer invested in sorry, I'm trying to find the right word for it. No longer invested in your personal growth and your own self-mastery. I feel like the energy is kind of the opposite energy to those in this reading right now, is kind of like stifled and stunted themselves. And that's not to say that they're bad people. It just means that they have a separate journey. That's the other thing too. I think that for those that this has to do with a relationship, there's a moment in time where you have to break from a relationship, not because they're a bad person, not because you have all this animosity towards them, but because together you can recognize you don't make each other very happy. You don't make each other sad, but you're not fulfilled. You're not growing. And it just feels like there is paths that are pulling you both in separate situations. I mean, this could be with jobs too. So again, take it as it resonates. If it pulls on you, if it pulls on your heartstring, if it pulls forth a memory, then that's how you know it's resonating. Don't try to make it fit. Um, and I'm also hearing, by standing at that crossroads and deciding whether or not, well, not deciding, because I already feel like you've made the decision, but deciding when to start walking that path that you've already chosen. It has a lot to do of when to let go of the friend group, that past relationship, that past job. And the thing is, there is that feeling of obligation, like, well, I feel like kind of duty bound, like I kind of have to stay at this job, this relationship, because it's the right thing to do, but it's stunting my own growth. And so I'm hesitant, even though like my heart and my mind are down this right-sided path here. I'm still staying where I was because I'm worried about the people that I would be leaving behind. But let me throw you a curveball. What have you ever thought about when have you ever thought about the possibility that once you start moving that path, you release the person, the relationship, the job, or the friend group, you release them to walk their own path where they also will grow in the ways that they need to. That by staying together in this friendship, in this friend group, in this job, in this relationship, that you guys are kind of like frozen in time. You may not be arguing a whole lot. I mean, I do feel like there is some bickering energy. There is some disagreement. There is some non sequitur, like you all don't quite get each other. Again, whether it's friends, family, lovers, work, you may not be getting each other, but that doesn't mean that you're bad. It doesn't mean the relationship is toxic, but it does mean it's not fulfilling. It's like you're frozen in time. So while the collective energy is thinking about like, well, if I move forward in the way that I truly want to, where I would grow and thrive and fill my life with abundance and love and contentedness and increase my self-worth and my self-esteem, I kind of worry about what's going to happen back here. But again, let me put it to your mind. Have you ever thought about if you stay, you all will stay in kind of this frozen state. And by you walking your path to your best and highest good, that you're allowing and freeing the energies that you're leaving behind to walk their own path for their own ascension, for their own betterment, for their own greatest good. Just some food for thought. Okay. So that's a pre-shuffle. Honestly, my heart space is really tight, and I'm surprised I didn't hiccup during that whole thing, because when I hiccup, it usually means I'm channeling a specific message that's very strong, and it's almost like as if I haven't hiccuped yet, but I feel like the message is strong. So I was gonna try and make this reading like a little bit shorter than my normal readings, but I don't know if that's gonna happen. Okay, so the first card that popped out was Solitude. Spending time alone is often what we need to Spending time alone is often what we need to hear the whispers of our soul. Get to know all aspects of yourself so you can stand on your own in any situation. Okay. I didn't show you the picture, but I love it. It's a little owl. To me, this represents the goddess Nyx, or the entity or energy known as Stolas. And they're both about knowledge, intuition, an eternal student, like finding the truth of self, essentially. So this energy right here makes me feel like, okay, I'm going to say it, that you, the collective, again, only take it if it resonates. And by resonate, I mean if it doesn't elicit an immediate response where you think of something in your mind that you have gone through, that you are going through, or that you've been pondering. That is what resonates. Don't make it fit. This makes me feel like the collective, you've been taking time for yourself to think about what you want to do. We just went through the whole pre-shuffle that felt really like rich. It had a message in it, and it's pouring over into this. It feels like you're thinking about contemplating, taking time for yourself of how to make whatever moves that you need to make in order to bring your abundance in. Now, you could be actually going, spending time, by yourself. Maybe you enjoy going to a river and just sitting on the banks of the river. Or maybe you enjoy driving out to the desert and letting like the sunset after late afternoon heat kind of bask on your skin while you think about life. Maybe you're the type of person that wanders out to your backyard or to your front yard at 11 o'clock at night or 12 o'clock at night and you just stare up at the sky and the moon and think. I know I do. There is something about this collective seeking out solitude for this time. This, I'm also hearing, this also could be that you're spending longer hours at work just so you can have some quiet. You may have like a home life. Maybe you live with roommates. Maybe you live with family. Maybe you have a partner. Maybe you live with siblings. I guess that would be family, but you know what I mean. Maybe you live in a situation where there's lots of energy. Maybe you live alone, but in an apartment building where there's lots of sound. At any rate, there's something that tells me that you all are kind of spending time more away from home, maybe staying at the office or staying in your studio or staying in like a craft space, because after hours it's quiet and you can sit in with yourself with your own thoughts. That's what it feels like. This feels very hermit energy. Okay. Then the next one we have is acceptance. So sorry, my recording rig just stopped recording for whatever reason, but we got acceptance. You may be disappointed with the recent outcome. Remember, if one door closes, you are being redirected to one that will soon open to your true soul path. So, okay, so maybe you had made some plans on how to make changes in your life. Maybe you were deciding you were going to get a new job and you interviewed and you're really hoping it really felt good, but you didn't get that job. The reason why that didn't happen is because there's something different for you. If you were trying to get a particular apartment or a house and it looked good and you felt good and you didn't get it, that's because you were meant to live someplace else. I do believe that, yes, fate and destiny. I say this in my little tarot intro. Fate and destiny, I believe in it, but I also believe it only takes you so far. It presents opportunities and doorways and pathways to walk, for us to act, for us to say what we need to do, but we have to take the opportunity to walk down those paths, to make those decisions, to say things, to voice our opinions, because we are co-creating with the universe. So when we see, let's say, for instance, the apartment. Say you want to get a new apartment. You wanted to get your own place, or you wanted to get a different job, and it looked good, but it didn't happen. That's because the universe is trying to redirect you to paths of opportunity, paths of abundance. Okay. Okay, and then we said, or no, sorry, not what we said. No, what we have is stuck in lack. You have all the resources you need to carry you through, whether it's financial, emotional, or physical limitations that you think you have. It's only ego-based fears taking over. Rein them in and don't give them up, or don't give it up. I really love that we got this card because of the fact that we had the energy of being stuck at a crossroads, feeling like you can't quite move forward because, you know, maybe the person or people or situation you have to kind of leave behind you. You worry about what's going to happen to them. And also, there is the possibility that I didn't touch on, but I will touch on here, is when you're standing at the crossroads and you already know what path you want to walk because the abundance, the life, the job, the love, the relationship, the family dynamic that you want to create exists down this one particular path. Maybe you feel like you're not ready yet. Maybe you feel like emotionally you're not ready yet. Maybe you feel financially you're not ready yet. You've already picked the path that you want to walk, but the only reason why you haven't stopped walking is because you doubt that you're ready for the path that you've picked. This is indicating that, like, again, this is energy for the reading. So this is telling me this is where the collective is at. You may be telling yourself that you're not ready emotionally or mentally or physically or financially. It's saying you feel that you're not ready, but you're either more ready than you believe or you're closer to being ready than you believe yourself to be. This feels like it's the answer in this card feels like magician energy. We create our own realities. as far as decisions that we make, we're shaping how our lives are and how we view the world by the decisions that we make and how we choose to view things. I mean, you could look at, people say, is the glass half empty or half full, right? You could say, and some people say, oh, it's half empty, and some people will say, oh, it's half full. In that situation, I say, well, the glass exists on its own as empty. The glass itself exists on its own as empty. So if anything is in there, it's halfway up to being full. Because before there's anything in there, the cup is empty. That's its natural state. It's to be filled. So when someone asks me that question, the cup is half full, because the cup's original form is empty. A cup doesn't exist automatically out of a kiln or out of the glass blowing thing with liquid in it. It is empty. So when there's stuff in it, it is half full. That's how I look at it. And I almost feel like that's kind of how this card is wanting the collective to start viewing stuff. Like, even when you're in a sticky situation, maybe you're having a hard time with friends or family, start looking at, okay, yes, this is uncomfortable. But sometimes you have to be okay with a little discomfort so you can see the lessons in it and how you can grow from it. Okay, I'm going on a tangent. Let me just go ahead and get some tarot. So based on this energy, let's tell a story. Let's see what's the collective is currently doing right now. So 10 of Wands. 10 of Wands is, you feel like you're carrying a burden, but you're so close to your final destination. If you're unfamiliar with the 10 of Wands imagery, it is a person who's got a stack of staves or wands or pole arms on their back, and they're struggling uphill, but their house, their home, their destination is right in view, like maybe 200 yards or something like that, or maybe even a mile at best. The point being is the 10 of Wands is, yes, you've been carrying this burden, but you're so close to the finish line. You're so close to release. You're so close to home. Again, I'm seeing the crossroads, and this person's standing at the crossroads. 10 of Wands energy, having carried this burden of maybe not living in a fully enriching or oh gosh, sorry, this is one of those moments that I wish I could edit out, but I'm not gonna. This is the moment of carrying the burden, being in a non-enriching and somewhat stagnant kind of situation. This is the burden that you've been carrying. You've been carrying it for a long time. Thank you, Spirit. It's inauthentic to who you are. You know what you want. You know the life that you want to live. But you could look at your life, your situation, your job, your friends, your family, your situationship, whatever it is. You could look at it and be like, this isn't actually 100 what I want. Like, this is the situation I'm in. But deep inside, I know I want something different. I know I want something more authentic and more in line with who I am. But that way of thinking is standing at the crossroads. They've already decided to go down the right side. They've already decided this is the path that I want to walk, because the job, the abundance, the relationship, the love, everything that I want that is most authentic to me is just down the road. 10 of Wands, it's so close. All I have to do is start walking towards it. So this is representing the burdens that the collective has been carrying. And yet you are so close to this next phase in your life. And I think you all realize it. I think part of this solitude energy is you all sitting in energy by yourself and being like, I just heard it's so close I could taste it. It's so close I could actually feel it. I almost feel like I want to get emotional. It's almost like your point of happiness or your point of contentment is so close. It's almost infuriating that you can't get there fast enough, or that you don't feel like you're ready to walk that path just yet, because you can see it on the horizon. You can see it in your line of sight. You've been carrying these burdens. You're ready to put it down. You're ready to move towards that chapter in your life. Okay, and then we have the world. Yes, this is not only change coming to your life in a way that you can see, in a way that you can feel, that you can experience, but this is a change that is, I don't want to say reality shifting because that sounds really woo woo, but like when you have an improved mental state, emotional space, soul space that reflects on your face and your physical being, people will see it. People will notice it. It's that moment when people who you haven't seen in a while and they see you on the street and they're like, hey, I've seen you. Wow, wow, you're glowing. What are you doing? Maybe it's because you're aligned in a way that you're supposed to be. Maybe because you're living authentically to yourself, where you're not making concessions. You're not like bending to other people's wants, needs, and desires. And you're finally putting yours before anybody else's. Because, plain analogy, when there is when there is a change in pressure in the cabin, the air flight attendants will say the oxygen masks will fall. Take care of yourself first, then help somebody else, because you got to take care of yourself first. This is recognizing the first part of taking care of yourself, the first part of putting your wants, needs, and desires at the forefront to make sure you have your needs met, is realizing what is aligned with you and what isn't aligned with you, and making moves to put yourself in alignment with the things that you know will make you happy, the things that you know are meant for you. This world card is the shifting of, again, I don't want to say reality, but I keep saying reality because everyone has their own perceived reality, your own microcosm, your own little world on how you see things. It's reality shifting for those that resonate with this. Walking that right path, and I don't mean right as in the correct path. I'm just saying it was on the right side. That was the path that I saw the person in my mind walking on the right side, that path, because it's towards this person's authenticity. It's what they've always wanted. It's what they know is meant for them, like on a soul level. Not only does it change how they view the world and how they feel about themselves, but world card means it changes everything around them. People will start looking at them different. People start looking at you different because they will see your improved emotional, mental space reflected on your face and in your aura. Again, that moment of, I haven't seen you in a while. You are glowing. What are you doing? Oh, that's what happiness does. That's what happiness looks on somebody, or that's how happiness looks on somebody. You glow, you emanate, like, because you're aligning with what you truly want. What is your truth? Oh, because we have two, so we'll just go ahead and put that like this. Okay, so first card is Five of Swords. Yeah, we are moving out of this Five of Swords energy. Sorry, let me just hold it up a little bit longer. A Five of Swords energy is about self-sabotage, selling yourself short, winning at all costs. But when I see this makes me feel like we are moving away from this energy. We are moving away from doing things that are a disservice to ourselves, i.e., staying in situations that aren't assisting in our growth, that aren't supporting us in the way, aren't on the same path. Again, maybe you're in a situation that is disempowering and you're like, oh, I really need to pull myself from this toxic energy. That very well could be, but it also could be the quiet realization of, this just isn't for me. This situation, these people, this person isn't bad. It just isn't for me. And so when I choose to walk a path that's authentic to myself, I'm doing myself the kindness and allowing myself the freedom to walk a path that is authentic to me, that will bring my true happiness. And by doing that, I'm also releasing this other person, this other energy, this other situation, this other group of friends, for them to walk their path that they need to in order for their particular brand of happiness. It's doing them a kindness. Even if initially it's a little uncomfortable, you move towards what you all are both aligned to. You're promoting healthy growth in yourself and those around you. You're allowing them the opportunity to walk their own path, to press forward in their own journey. So we're not doing the self-sabotage stuff anymore. It's under the solitude card. I hadn't even noticed. This is something that you've been thinking about. Like, I just heard, I need to stop this. I need to stop doing this. I just heard living for other people. I got to stop living for other people. I got to stop hiding who I am. I have to start living authentically, and I need to move away from this energy. So now we have the Two of Wands. The Two of Wands is about making a plan. Quite literally, this is when I see the Two of Wands, this is about, my family, my dad particularly, he's in construction. So I just see my dad rolling out like blueprint papers and writing on them and making a plan, right? So this makes me think of someone rolling out blueprint papers and said, okay, here's the general idea of what I want and how I'm going to get there. I'm also seeing in my head a very like dilapidated old like RPG map. If you played tabletop RPGs, this is like the little grid paper that you're drawing your little your campaign on, the dungeon, the path, the journey. It's writing out, okay, this is the area in which I want to move towards. So how exactly am I going to get from point A to point B? Where I'm at right now, at the crossroads, to my most aligned happiness. This is not, and let me be clear, this isn't daydreaming. This isn't like brainstorming. This is actually making plans. This is actually setting things up so that you can move forward. So if you were wanting to change jobs, it isn't just thinking about changing jobs. It's actually creating a resume, putting it out on Indeed, and start putting out resumes. If you were thinking about moving, it's about looking into the city or the state or the country that you want to move to, and you start, what do I need in order to make this happen? How do I change my license? Are there places that I can afford? What is the walk score so I can like walk around my neighborhood? You know, that it is taking actual steps, making actual plans before the journey begins. Again, bringing it back to gaming, because that's what I do. If you're playing a video game like World of Warcraft or Elder Scrolls, or if you're playing a TTRPG, you know, like Dungeons and Dragons, you want to make sure that you have enough money, enough resources, enough spell slots, enough armor, enough weapons before you go out to do the big campaign, to get that one elite, or to go into that raid or that dungeon. You know what I mean? It's like that. It's making the plan before you actually step. And again, not brainstorming. This is actually preparation. So I feel like the collective isn't just sitting on it. They've been thinking about it, and then the way it's lining out is that you all are ready really, really to start moving. That's what it feels like. Oop. I fell on the floor. If it doesn't go to the table, I will just pick it up and put it. Okay, there we go. So we have Six of Cups. This is past life energy. This is past love energy. Oftentimes, I see this particularly, especially when we come to interpersonal connections, I see this as a past love. Like you looking at a younger version of yourself and being like, I remember when I was, and it's cups energy, and there's 6 of them, so it's equal. So it's about looking back at a younger version of yourself and being like, I had it right. This is where I want to go. This is where my happiness is. So there's something in your past that you're looking at that you want to pursue again. Maybe you gave up on a passion because maybe there are social or family pressures to live a certain way or to have a certain job, so you abandon a certain passion that you had from when you were younger. Maybe you had a dream or an idea that when you were younger you expressed to your friends, and then friends can sometimes troll you. They'll be like, man, why do you want to do that? That's kind of dumb, where the money really is, or what you really should do. And you just kind of went with what your friends said because they were your friend group, the same friend group that likely you've outgrown. Maybe it was that, or maybe it was looking at past love relationships that you were like, this was really it right here. That's the kind of love that I want. That's the kind of relationship that I want. That's the kind of connection that I want. You are making plans to put yourself back into alignment with what you once had in the past, that you once felt in the past, because this is authentic to who you are. Whatever it is in the past that you are revisiting that you are thinking again in this solitude. I just looked over there for whatever reason. I looked over there and I'm seeing like the owl and the moon, and I'm like, okay, so there is a spirituality about, there's something, the path means cycles, right? The path, sorry. The moon means cycles. The moon means like the uncertainty. So I'm looking at this card and I'm feeling that the collective is like, there is something from my past that I left behind, that I regret leaving behind, that I should have never left behind, that I should have never taken this other path. And there's a focus on the path of recapturing, moving towards, reigniting, working towards something in the path that was a passion of yours, something that you cared about. When I looked at the owl, and in solitude, in those moments where you were at that river or out at the desert or staying late at work and thinking, this was part of it. You intellectually, you were thinking, how can I do this from a logical standpoint? And then I just heard, let the moon guide you. So you're using your intuition about what can make me happy. Intuitively, you know something from your past, whatever it is. If a past passion, a past like project, a past relationship, there's something that you've been slowly working your way back to. And now that I'm looking at the crossroads, that person standing at the crossroads, looking down the right-sided path at their abundance, at their happiness, at the job opportunity, at a love, at a relationship. And I'm hearing 10 of Wands energy. They're so close to going back, to heading back home, going to where they feel safe, going to where they feel appreciated. The 10 of Wands imagery, again, was somebody carrying burdens, and they're so close to their destination, and it's a home. They're so close to where they want to be. All of that. It's like you're coming home. And coming home is getting back in alignment with what is authentic to you. You know what would make you happy. Collective, I don't have to sit here and be like, oh, I think you know what it is. This is making me feel you know exactly what the point in which you deviated from a path that you knew was authentic, maybe because of friends, maybe because of family opinions, maybe because you were scared, maybe because you felt like you weren't ready. But now you're looking back, you're making plans to be like, whatever this feeling was, whatever this was, I'm going to recapture that energy. I'm going to go back. I'm going to stand at this crossroad, look down that right side path and be like, this is the path back home. This is the path to my ascension, my abundance, my happiness. Ooh, I'm getting emotional. And then we have 7 of Cups. 7 of Cups energy right after the 6 of Cups. So we go from the 6 of Cups to the 7 of Cups. 7 of Cups is like a multiple choices, and also has a lot of dreamy energy. So normally I find this card sometimes to be an indecision card because of all of the choices. And then there's the kind of dreamy aspect, which is like daydreaming and fantasy. Again, I'm looking at the solitude card. It's something that you've been daydreaming about. Going back home, going back to whatever this happiness, getting back into alignment with what the point in which you knew that you deviated from your what was meant for you, your destiny. If you want to go that way, your destiny, your heart's desire, what really sets your soul on fire. You've been daydreaming about it. And the thing about it is, with all the shifts, I'm hearing there's lots of different ways that you could approach this. That's what I heard. Lots of different ways to approach this. And you're sitting in silence, in solitude, thinking about how to plan to move towards what it is that truly made you happy. You want to take that path, that right-sided path, back home, or back to your alignment, to your happiness. And you've been daydreaming about it so much. Two of Cups. 2 of Cups. We have 2 of Cups, and then we have the 6 of Cups. This is about a version of yourself looking back at a younger point of yourself. It also means past memories. It also means past relationships. And we have 2 of Cups. For a bulk of you, again, I don't always try to do love readings. They just pop up because I am a squishy person. I am a sentimental person. My little sentimental heart beats wildly when I see people experiencing love and understanding how fulfilling love can be. This is someone going back to someone that they care immensely about. Now, if you felt like it resonated all the way up to this point, let me also point out that the Two of Cups is also the energy of someone who just sees you for who you are, can see you eye to eye. This could also be, if you want, if it resonates with you, this also could be like a best friend that you lost touch with, a vocation or a calling that you just felt like in your element, and one is you and one is the community of that, that collective. But either way, it is purposeful. It is going back to being with, or putting yourself back on the path to alignment, to be with the person, the energy, or the situation that you knew was where you wanted to be from the get-go. That right-sided path, that alignment, that walking the path that is truly authentic to you is the path to your happiness. And you already know what's waiting at the finish line. You already know what would facilitate that and constitute that. I'm going to pull one oracle card. And of course, it'll be from my Inner Child Oracle because it's one of my favorites. And let's see what we have. Oh, okay. Well, that just almost hit me in the face. The release, responsibility, innocence, and fear. Some responsibility are ours to hold. Others are not. I'm not even done reading, obviously. This is exactly what I'm talking about. There's that feeling at the beginning of the reading where the collective felt like they were obligated or duty bound to stay in a situation, an energy, a relationship, a job, because they didn't want to be the person to leave the company without that position filled, or didn't want to leave a person brokenhearted, or they didn't want to cause a lot of friction. But again, let me remind you, let me put some other perspective on it. When you walk your authentic path, even if that means disengaging and removing and disentangling yourself from other situations, you are allowing that energy that you're walking away from to find their true path, their abundance, and their happiness. And who knows, maybe when you walk your own authentic path, the path that they walk, those friends, that job, that relationship, that person, they find a happiness that they didn't even think they could achieve. But they wouldn't have known it unless they had the freedom to walk that path. The release. Responsibility, innocence, and fear. Some responsibility are ours to hold, others are not. Do not be fooled into thinking a responsibility is only tangible. Many reside within the mind. Take stock today of your perceived responsibility. Which ones need to go? Let me just read that again for the people in the back. The release. Some responsibilities are ours to hold, others are not. Do not be fooled into thinking a responsibility is only tangible. Many reside within the mind. Again, feeling obligated, feeling duty-bound. Take stock today of your perceived responsibilities. Which ones need to go? And that is the reading for today. Thank you so much for stopping by my channel. I know I'm a tiny, teeny little tarot channel, but I'm here and I'm happy to read. Thank you so much for letting me read your energy. All your likes, shares, and subscribes are deeply appreciated. But more than anything, I appreciate your energy being here with me today. My name is Angel, and this is Rabbit and Moon Tarot, and I will see you at the next reading.